A high-level team of government officials and leaders of the protective services at the Prime Minister's office, a national security meeting. Among the units represented was SORT. Those who now form the government were critical of the unit when they were in opposition, saying it was not a legal entity, but the Prime Minister says they're working on that.
The Legislative Review Committee met today, which is a committee that looks at legislation. They are in the process of reviewing a bill that will come to the Parliament with respect to SORT.
SORT officers have made arrests and cases are before the courts. It was argued that those cases could not stand. The Attorney General says differently.
Those are matters that they would have brought in their capacity as police officers, so that would remain unaffected. But we are reviewing those matters as part of our Interministerial Task Force Committee, and that will be decided in due course.
So is this an about turn by politicians? The Attorney General being told that while in private practice, he had maintained that these cases would not stand.
I have never said, you're talking about the former Attorney General.
The Prime Minister then intervened.
Attorney General, the Hansard record will show I have said similar words. There is no legislative framework for SORT. That is why we are looking to the legislation to regularize that position.
She says it's now critical that SORT be made legal.
But I do share the view that the way SORT has been set up, and I said it in Parliament, many of us who were in the opposition, Subhash Pandey, we said it, there was no legislative framework for SORT. I mean, that's clear. I think the whole country knows that.
But in terms of the cases, the SORT is still part of the police service, and the cases would have been brought in their capacity qua police officers. That will therefore be part of the administration of justice in its normal course.
The Parliament is currently on recess, the Prime Minister saying the legislation will come immediately upon resumption of the House. At the meeting, an interministerial team was established to look at a document called the National Security Sector Review that lists a number of crime-fighting and national security objectives. The mandate?
To see what is workable, to see what is not workable, and to come up with a new where necessary. Multiply, add, divide, subtract, basically. And come back to us. That mandate has been given to them to come back within a week and a half.
The Prime Minister says it's important that the government now create an order of priority based on what the document says.
This is a summary of all that has been happening before. The proposals that were before the previous National Security Council. These were proposals and projects and so on. Some of it would have come out of the Ross report, and some of the other officers who were involved in national security.
Among the issues involved is disaster response. The Prime Minister saying that there has been some improvements.
I would say that within the last week there has been tremendous improvement with respect to response to the flooding that was taking place. I know on Sunday, Monday that response was far better than it was the previous weekend. So there has been improvement. Of course, there's always room for even more improvement.
Meanwhile, the National Security Minister has confirmed that the head of the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management, Colonel George Robinson, is on his way out.
Colonel Robinson's substantive appointment is with Petrotrin, and he was on secondment. He has indicated his intention to return to Petrotrin after that secondment is concluded.
His final day is sometime in November.